right, and then we come to this week's episode in the Cradle of Vexilon. This one has a whole lot of stuff. The reference fest this time, they really are scaling. It's really more of the Easter egg type thing. There's a few things that do hinge on them, but a lot of it's one thing. But we'll get to that. We see again another Larry Niven bit here, where we actually see a ring world. Which is, for those, it's from Larry Niven's Known Space series, which also brought us to Gazinti. We have something. It was because of a middle ground between a Dyson sphere and just a regular solar system. So instead of a giant sphere encompassing a sun, it's still a disk, which is, again, comparatively easier to do. You're not doing much material, but also you can simulate gravity just by spinning it. So you got the centrifugal force, and you have certain structures out in front to simulate night and day, so it's not constantly day all the time. You get little thing, little big squares with gaps in between, and then you get a day and night cycle. But they introduced us to a ring world, and these are a bunch peaceful artists and philosophers and stuff, and they are friendly to the Federation, and their computer that runs everything is kind of on the fritz. And no, it's not subjugating people. It's a very friendly computer. And the people love the computer. It takes care of them. But the computer, I need some help here. No, he hasn't had maintenance on the thing for about 1,000 years. But, the system probably dates back a few million totally. But so it needs some upkeep. And they brought in, the Cerritos to help. Okay, fine, great. This is what we do. And Captain Freeman, she minored in archaic technology at the Academy. Oh, I can do this. Fires computer. Oh, you just need an upgrade. You haven't upgraded the system in about 1,000 years, so yeah, it's about time. Meanwhile, over across the way, Boimler with Talin is now in charge of his first away mission. He's got three ensigns assigned to him. One of them is Ensign Taylor, the Kazinti. So we have a double whammy Niven-wise. We have a Kazinti on a ring world. So that's a big mark there. But their job is to replace some components in their main power system. And you got to do it very carefully, because Talin points out that if you're not doing it quite right, they might explode. And she points out that, kind of maintain the mortality death rate of Lieutenant J.G.'s on the first away mission. And so Boimler, his anxieties come to the forefront. He won't let anybody else do it. He insists on doing it himself. I'll show you the first one, and it's a 3-person job. But he insists I get the thing undone himself. Okay, that's how you do it. Did you catch that? Not really. Okay, I'll do that. And he insists on doing the whole thing himself while these guys are sitting there watching. But while Freeman is trying to restart this. Oh, we just need an upgrade. Hit the thing and oops, and it sticks during the restart. Was it supposed to lock up? I don't know. It's like that starts causing the whole thing to go a little haywire, and it's rapid firing through seasons here and there, and night, day, and winter, summer. The clouds freeze and fall. All kinds of havoc is going on, and. Meanwhile, and a volcano forms after. Oh, a new mountain has formed, or maybe it's a volcano. Oh, it is a volcano. Talin has got the best deadpan. Gabrielle Ruiz. She, and next time you want to do a live action, Lower Decks thing, get her in the ears. Okay, that's one thing. Just about the entire cast of Lower Decks, you could put them in live action, and it works because they for the most part, they made them look like they're, like they're actors. They might have an issue with Dr. Tiana because she's a Cation, so there'll be some CGI and makeup work there. And of course, Noah Wells has to be painted green because that's another issue. That's easy. They're doing that back in the '60s. But on the Cerritos, Mariner, Tendi, and Rutherford think they got the day off. They're going to go, and they find a place called the Anomaly Room. That's one of the perks of being a lieutenant. You have access to the Anomaly Room. And that's where a lot of... There's a Nomad in there, although it's probably a replica. A Liripa in there. There's, other little artifacts here and there. There's what looks like a Catan probe, and briefly we see a ferret. Whatever. It turns out it's Mr. Billups has a ferret and it got loose, but so that's another plot that develops on later. But a lot of little trinkets here and there, and one of them is that game from DS9, from what is considered one of the most reviled episodes of DS9. The cast hates it, but there's that game. Oh, and they also have one of the Betazoid gift box, and that's one of the things they gave it a down on Trek Culture, because they didn't have Armin Shimmerman do the voice like he did in the actual episode Haven. And he took it uncredited because he knew that you can't do too many guests or they won't ask you back. So he wanted to make sure he could come back, so he took it uncredited. But they had somebody else do it, and it's funny because apparently other people that wanted it in, and it picks up on other people's phrases, and it started cussing them out for, I didn't know Dr. Tiana's been in here, so go suck a bunch of Borg dicks, But they get summoned away from this. They thought they were going to have some fun wandering, looking at the stuff. But not this snotty lieutenant. I think it's the same one in the first episode where they move along lower decks. But he gets them all to go to... He wants them to check. And where all the isolinear chips are in there in the main circuitry. He insists on them checking every single one. There are thousands in here. But apparently one of them is out. They can't figure out which one. Well, you got to scan them all by hand, or something catastrophic could happen. Okay, fine, and so they're getting, they're debating whether are they being hazed? Is this a hazing thing? Or no, they haven't got the imagination for it. They're not cool enough for hazing. And eventually, they go, yes, we checked everything. Oh, including the second wall, and raises up and there's a whole nother wall of more chips. It's like. At this point, they think, okay, we are being hazed. So they set up a rig in this lieutenant's quarters, kind of a very elaborate, trap here, where they have lever and trip wires and pulleys and zap him with a probe, and there's a phaser involved. And the main thing is to get him inside the game, let him sucker in there for a few hours, and see how it likes. But as they're leaving this thing, they see him coming along. And he, they tell, oh yeah, we checked him out. Oh, thank God. And he has a bit of a breakdown from them, and talks about how this was because he once got stuck in one of those games for a month and couldn't figure out how to get out, and he was traumatized. Oh crap! Okay, and a real good thing where Mariner, oh, I heard you're into the Telluride slop jazz. Tell me all about it. Fix it. And so while they're going up, Tendi and Tendi, because they mentioned how just one chip could cause the entire ship to explode. So Tendi runs back to the chips and starts scanning them like a crazy woman, just going through. Rutherford goes back to dismantle the trap, take it all apart, but then he actually sets it off and gets himself stuck in the game for a while holding the Betazoid gift box. So he's got to do a speed run through the game. Start with out of my ring, count the, oh god, and finally gets to the very end, or jump on the cliff, and poof, okay. And unfortunately, he sets it off again. This Katanan probe is zapped, and he blocks it with the box. And the box is, what happened? Did I just live an entire lifetime in 6 minutes? It's a great little gag there. And they're just about, and Rutherford's about to leave, and just as Mariner and this lieutenant are just about in the corner and coming back to the quarters, and wait a minute, I was supposed to be with Dr. Jigglypuff. I shouldn't. He's on this side. I shouldn't even be here. Okay, fine. And then Brother gets out and just collapses, and you see his hand come up over that. I'm fine. So, they get their Christ, voice volunteer. Meanwhile, down on the planet, they have Billups beamed down because now we're Freeman's on over our head. It's like, this has gone crazy. And so and they think they're, okay, the thing is, things are going weird. Okay, there should be a safe mode while we're doing this. Okay, well, they do that, and unfortunately, that kicks up to just completely restarting. Back to Genesis mode, basically, where it's like, let it loose the primordial ooze and the miasma, and just, no, it's going to kill everything. No, wait, we got to, so frantically trying to figure out how to get it back to just restore, get back to a restore point that it was at. And the friends are, okay, oh wait, we got it, but we need the power back up. This is just after Boimler has got, like, there's just one pod left to pull, and like, no, you got to put him back. Oh, God, and this is when Talin gives him a little pep talk about, no, you are not leading, Lieutenant Boimler. You are micromanaging. Let your people do their job. Okay, they are your team for a reason. Okay, you're just feeling bad about the fact that just last week he was one of them. He's like, no, I have studied your. He doesn't feel worthy, but no, I have studied your record. Commander Ransom did not make a mistake in promoting you. You are ready for this. Let your people do their jobs. And the real good thing is when, all right, Lieutenant Talin said it's time to put you at risk. That is not how I would have phrased it, but they get everything frantic. Back in place. Okay, power back up. All right, great. And then the turbines are spinning out. Oh dear, it's starting going crazy. So all right, and then get in there. Okay, Freeman's okay. When I tell you, hit the restart, hit the stop button. Shut it down. All right, and he gets back in line. Okay, hit it, and he hits the button. And he orders everyone out ahead of time. All right, boom, and the entire thing blows up. And Boimler's body comes bouncing out. And Talin, well, the death toll, the mortality rate is maintained. And yeah, Boimler is dead at this point. And he finds himself in a kind of a waiting room. And on the window, there's the Black Mountain, and looks back. And there's the great koala. Sit in the chair, ready to talk to him. Can't understand a word. There's and big line up, and then he wakes up. He's still blackened from the explosion. And waking up, and then of course Tiana, holy crap, it worked. And he's like, I'm okay. Yeah, Ransom would say, yeah, nothing like your first death there. It's gonna be great. You're planning the whole thing of everyone gets killed at one point or another in the story. And so they get everything fixed. They go back to the ship, and they've while they're around the table talking about, turns they shouldn't have been think they were being hazed or anything. No, meanwhile, Ransom and that lieutenant are sitting a few days. Yeah, they bought that. Okay, yeah, they were messing with them. They were being hazed. And of course, the lieutenant pulls out Mr. Billups' ferret. And, okay, Lance, let go, and then just gets him out and freaks out Rutherford. Again, things progress, and then amongst all the thing, there is character growth. Boimler learns something. Okay. Mariner's actually being somewhat helpful, and they're working together as a team. She's no longer trying to get booted, or get herself demoted. She's actually starting to accept her role, and they're working on it, building up. There is legitimate story stuff going on here, and it is funny, and it's good stuff. Give this show a chance, okay? Yeah, if you can handle the references and the snappy banner and stuff and the animation stuff. I handle it fine because, again, I used to draw just like that, okay, when I was a kid. It's that kind of style. And it's not, it's just the style. The animation is very good. It's not stock, it's very fluid animation. It's very well done on that front. You just got to get used to the really big eyes and stuff, and the art style type of thing. But even then, it's still not. It's not Steven Universe. It doesn't look like some 4-year-old drew it on a comic on the back of a piece on his notebook. Okay, this is it is legitimate. And again, the ships look very good. All the technology is there. So onward and upward here. So I have no idea what's happening next week here. So we will talk at you later. Thank you.